I pulled up a chair in the quiet of the night, with no candle on the table and no prayer book in sight. I didn't bow my head, and I didn't close my eyes. I just started talking honest underneath the open skies. I said, Lord, I ain't a holy man, and I ain't gonna pretend I've broken every promise, and I've wandered without end. I've carried things in darkness that I never brought to you, and I figure if you made me, then you know what I've been through. I told him about the mornings when I couldn't lift my head, about the winters of my spirit and the prayers I left for dead, about the roads I walked in blindness, reaching out for something real, about the years of silent distance and the wound I couldn't heal. I wasn't looking for a sermon, and I wasn't looking for a sign. I just needed something honest in that dark and hollow time. So I sat there with my failures, and I sat there with my name, and I talked to God in plain words, without glory, without shame. Talking to God like a man talks to a man, laying every broken piece out flat across his hand. Talking to God in the language of the lost, telling him the truth about the journey and the cost. Talking to God in the rawness of the night, not asking for a miracle, just asking for the light. Talking to God with everything inside my soul. Talking to God till He makes this broken man whole. I told him I was angry for the years that felt like waste, for the prayers that went unanswered and the mercy I misplaced, for the nights I called His name into the ceiling in the dark, for the silence that I carried like a splinter in my heart. I told him that the distance felt like something He had chose, that the coldness of the heavens was a wound that never closed, that a man can only wander in the wilderness so long before he starts to wonder if the faith he had was wrong. But then something in the stillness started moving like the air, like a presence in the quiet that I never knew was there. Not a voice and not a vision, but a warmth inside my chest, like a father sitting patient through his wayward sons and rest. And the anger that I carried turned to something close to peace, and the walls I built around me started slowly finding seats. And the distance I had measured between heaven and my soul began to close like water over everything I told. Talking to God like a man talks to a man, laying every broken piece out flat across his hand. Talking to God in the language of the lost, telling him the truth about the journey and the cost. Talking to God in the rawness of the night, not asking for a miracle, just asking for the light. Talking to God with everything inside my soul. Talking to God till He makes this broken man whole. I don't need a church to find Him, and I don't need a crowd. I just need the honest quiet to say, and something loud that I've been running from His presence through the living of my days, and the running left me emptier in more ways than I can say. He didn't come with condemnation, and He didn't come with fire. He came with something quieter and something so much higher. He came with the understanding of a father for his son, who has wandered long enough to know the wandering is done. Talking to God like I've never talked before, laying down my armor at His everlasting door. Talking to God with a faith I thought was gone, finding it was buried underneath the years all along. Talking to God in the language of the real, in the currency of suffering and everything I feel. Talking to God with the rawness of my soul. Talking to God and becoming finally whole. So I'll keep that chair beside me in the quiet of the night. I'll keep that conversation burning low and burning right. I'll keep talking to my maker in the language of the truth. A broken man made whole again by nothing else but you.